Bible does not mention so much about that. The only place where I can remember is in 1 Samuel 28, when, as we know, the occurrence happened with the witch of Endor summoned so-called the ghost of dead prophet Samuel. Besides that, when I was checking Acts 12, I thought that was a ghostly apparition that the disciples thought it was coming from Peter, but actually I checked like 20 different Bible translations. The better translation would be a messenger or an angel of Peter, when they told that when someone was knocking on the gate and Peter was in prison. So it doesn't say it was a ghostly apparition or just a ghost, but it says it was just a messenger or an angel, which that's how it was perceived by the disciples. So I can't really say that the New Testament speaks about ghosts and the Old Testament barely touches maybe once or twice. So let's start with that. How come everyone has well, not everyone, but many people have these accounts of ghosts, yet the Bible doesn't record this appearances so often? How so?
So you'll hear a lot of evangelical Christians say that a ghost is just a demonic spirit impersonating a human. Okay, so there's no biblical. Okay, I'm not saying a demonic spirit can impersonate a human, but that's not the biblical testimony. So in the law, in Leviticus, there is a word there's a law that says don't consult the human dead. And the word for that, for human dead, is ob, or ob. And that word is different than the law that says don't consult a demonic spirit. So the law the law differentiates between like a demonic spirit, like a small g god of another, of another nation, or just basically a demonic spirit. It differentiates from that and the spirit of the human dead, which was a serious concern because the Hebrews were consulting their human dead, particularly their ancestors. So at least from the law's perspective, the law doesn't say, you idiots, those aren't human dead, they're demons. It doesn't say that at all. It acknowledges the possibility. And so the law also says, don't talk to a necromancer and don't talk to a medium. So the difference is a medium consults a demonic spirit and a necromancer consults the human dead, or a ghost. A ghost is a disembodied human, right? Someone who died. So the Old Testament at least acknowledges that's possible. You mentioned the Samuel thing. I'm going to skip right over that and go straight to a scene in the New Testament. I won't skip over it. My friend Emily, if she's going to listen to this, she's like, don't skip over it, talk about it. So I will go ahead and acknowledge it in honor of Emily. So in that, the witch of Endor, Samuel, or rather, the prophet Samuel has died. King Saul is apostate, and he's kind of freaking out. And he used to go to Samuel, who yelled at him, but he went to Samuel. He wanted to go to Samuel again for advice. And so he went to a witch, and the witch conjured up a spirit, his ghost. It was his spirit, conjured him up. And it looked like Samuel, and it freaked the witch out. It freaked her out. I don't think she was expecting to actually raise Samuel, but she did. And freaked her out, and she's like, oh my goodness, I just broke the law. Here's the king who's supposed to uphold the law. I'm dead, right? That was one of the reasons she was freaking out. Anyway, and Samuel actually confirmed the prophetic word that had been given. So he actually said something that was true. So a lot of people will say, well, that was a demon. Look, there's no hint. I mean, you have to just read that. You have to read it's a demon into the passage. It says it was Samuel's spirit. Why don't we just believe it? In the New Testament, there was once when Jesus, he sent his disciples across the sea on the boat, and I think he was climbing a mountain to spend time with God. So anyway, a storm comes, and they're freaking out, and they see a ghost. They see the ghost of Jesus, and so maybe in their head they thought he stumbled on the mountain and hit his head and died. I guess maybe. And they said it's a ghost, and they were terrified. Jesus doesn't say, "You idiots, there's no such thing as ghosts." He says, "It's me. I'm like embodied. I'm here, physically here, walking on the water." There's so many theological messages being conveyed in that scene. So many. But one of the theological messages is illustrating how dumb the disciples are. Because now we don't think like this today, but in the first century, everybody in the Roman Empire, like it was just known that ghosts don't walk on water. They can't cross bodies of water. That was just in people's heads, okay? In fact, even demons couldn't really, but I mean, they couldn't really cross water. But gods can. So the disciples are illustrating ignorance in like the spirit realm. Like everyone knows ghosts can't. It's absurd to think that ghosts can walk on water. Why are they saying this is a ghost? Only a deity can. And the first century reader is going to make that connection and go, "Oh, Jesus is a deity." Right? It's like this first century reader is going to be like, "Oh, these disciples are dumb." Oh, and also he's illustrating his power over the chaos, right? By walking on water, calming the storms. It's Genesis 1, his creative power.